teenage girl disappears. A year later, human remains are discovered in the trunk of a Tesla, registered to a rising pop star. Tour dates vanish. A subreddit locks down. Old posts resurface. And now the internet is doing what the internet does, connecting dots that might be clues, or might just be lines we're drawing ourselves. Tonight we're walking through the situation surrounding singer d4vd, real name David Anthony Burke. We'll trace a timeline, present the facts on the record, and then examine the claims and conspiracies spreading across social media. No bias, no verdicts, just what's known, what's alleged, and what still doesn't add up. Important note: no charges have been filed against d4vd as of September 22, 2025. Much of this is an active investigation, and we'll label unverified claims as such. The discovery. On September 8, 2025, police discovered human remains in the front trunk, frunk, of a Tesla that had been towed 2 days earlier from a Los Angeles street. The car was registered to singer d4vd. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner later identified the victim as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, also reported as Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who had been missing since April 5, 2024. The death is being investigated. The cause of death is still undetermined publicly. Tour cancellations. In the days after identification, d4vd canceled remaining tour dates, including a planned Los Angeles show, with outlets noting a broader pause on US and European dates as the investigation unfolded. Reports emphasize that authorities have not named him a suspect and that he is cooperating with law enforcement. Community reaction. A vigil was held for Celeste in Lake Elsinore, California, as her community mourned and sought answers. Coverage highlighted the long search for Celeste and the shock around the grim discovery in a vehicle tied to a celebrity. In parallel with formal police work, the internet ignited. Some outlets compiled background explainers on d4vd's rapid rise, recognizing him for tracks like Romantic Homicide and Here With Me. Reports and posts alleging d4vd was moderating or deleting content critical of him on a subreddit, followed by locks or moderation changes that only fueled more speculation. Media coverage stressed that no official suspect designation had been made. Still, the optics of content control during an active homicide probe fed a narrative online. Bottom line at this stage: a teenager is dead. Her remains were found in a Tesla registered to the artist. Police are investigating. Internet sleuths have highlighted old TikTok comment threads. One widely shared example appears under a February 25, 2024 post, where a commenter accused the singer of messing with a 13-year-old girl. This resurfaced after the body was identified and is now cited as a warning sign in hindsight. It's important to stress, the existence of a comment does not prove a relationship or criminal conduct. Investigators begin working backward. Was the car abandoned? Who last drove it? How long were the remains inside? Publicly, those answers remain incomplete. Late September 2025, news breaks that the remains are Celeste's. Media echo statements that d4vd is cooperating. Tour dates are pulled in the days after the identification becomes public. Online communities begin compiling screenshots and hypothesizing. Family members speak out in interviews and posts, at times contradicting speculation about prior connections to the artist. Outlets report that Los Angeles police searched a Hollywood Hills home associated with the singer or his circle and that evidence was recovered.
What I can tell you is that it is literally right where we know that the car was towed from. So remember how this all happened, as you heard from Nicole. The car was towed from the Hollywood Hills. It wasn't until it was at the tow yard where the body was found. So if we go back to where the car was towed from, tonight, there's a presence of Los Angeles police detectives that are out there. We can see them in their plainclothes suits. We also see crime scene techs. It appears to be centered at this home. Sky Cow was able to get a peek before it got dark, and we can see that garage door open, and we see what appear to be crime scene techs going in and out of that garage. There you see it right there. You see the door to the home open on the inside. Another Tesla with the frunk open right there inside the garage as well.
Officials, however, have not announced charges, nor have they explained publicly what the evidence is. The investigation remains active. Forensic timelines typically take time. Cause and manner of death. The medical examiner's final findings are not public yet. Without that, everything from accident to homicide to time of death remains opaque, and that vacuum is where theories multiply. How the remains entered the car. This is the most crucial unanswered question. Was the car used by others? Was it stolen, loaned, or accessed by third parties? Who had keys? Was the frunk opened by others? Police have not detailed chain of custody or access logs. Relationship, if any, between Celeste and d4vd.
say water. They say water. They say water.
Mom, you look good.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
W's in the chat, man.
Some argue that placing remains in the frunk of a vehicle registered to a public figure feels deliberate, a way to implicate the owner or trigger maximum publicity. If true, the question becomes, who would benefit from framing the artist and why now? A cluster of posts claims Celeste and the singer were acquainted or even in some form of relationship, sometimes pointing to ambiguous lyrical references or old DM screenshots, many unverified. One tabloid-style thread suggests Celeste may have misrepresented her age, complicating perceptions of consent and awareness.
I media trained you. That's controversial.
It's controversial of raping kids.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my. Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes. Everything goes. Everything.
Reports say police searched a home where the artist had stayed and collected evidence. That phrase, recovered evidence, is doing a lot of work. Is it forensic? Digital? Totally unrelated but seized for completeness? Without specifics, some assume the worst, others assume routine scene processing. Until police explain, this remains a Rorschach test. The frunk versus trunk confusion. Some reports say trunk, others say frunk. That's more than semantics. A frunk is smaller, harder to access without opening the front, and it's an unusual place to hide remains. If frunk is correct, and major outlets have used that term, it raises questions about when and how it was accessed and what telemetry could show. How many people approached or moved the car before discovery? Was scent noticeable earlier? Did the heat or time accelerate decomposition? These environmental details could shape the forensic time since death estimate. The streaming uptick for a song with a grimly ironic title generated a lot of attention about audience behavior, internet rubbernecking that blurs lines between true crime interest and parasocial fascination with artists under scrutiny. The same-day vigil coverage and raw family statements fueled competing narratives, with some tabloids emphasizing any hint of prior connection, others quoting denials. Access and custody. Who had keys? Fob's app access. Was the car borrowed or shared? Were there valet logs, rental agreements, or garage entries? Investigators will map every hand that could have touched that car. Communications between parties. If Celeste and the artist, or any associates, had any contact, investigators will seek DMs, texts, or third-party witnesses to establish nature of the relationship, timing, and intent. A teenager's family is planning a funeral, a community is grieving, and an artist is under a microscope. We'll end the way investigations begin, with the questions. Not to accuse, not to absolve, but to make sure the right answers eventually surface.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my. Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes. Everything goes. Everything.